parents, nice to see you. For art today, all we need is paper. Regular or color paper will work. Oh, and it's a good idea to set us up in a spot where there's enough space to move around for worship. Also, we have the activity sheet that you can find every week at northcoastchurch.com under the Children's Ministry tab. Look for the Acts for Kids link. See you later.
Hey, Lonnie, what's going on?
Oh no! Are you going to be able to worship?
Well, I just had surgery today, but you know what? That won't keep me from worship. Let's do this!
When my world feels like it's shaking, when my heart feels like it's breaking, walking over waves can be hard to do. Take my hand, you're the hero, Jesus. You're the one who never leaves us. Whatever
Haven't I commanded you? Haven't I commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed. Be strong and courageous. For the Lord your God is with you. For the Lord your God is with you. Wherever you go, wherever you go. Wherever you go, go, go. Wherever you go.
Haven't I commanded you? Haven't I commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened. Do not be dismayed. Be strong and courageous.
For the Lord your God is with you. For the Lord your God is with you. Wherever you go, wherever you go. Wherever you go, go, go. Wherever you go.
Be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. Be strong. Be strong and courageous.
Wherever you go, wherever you go.
Be strong and courageous.
Wherever you go, go, go.
Be strong and courageous.
Wherever you go.
Be strong. Be strong and
Wherever you go,
courageous.
wherever you go.
Be strong and
Wherever you
courageous.
go, go, go.
Be strong and courageous.
Wherever you go.
Be strong. Be strong.
For the Lord your God is with you. For the Lord your God is with you. Wherever you go, wherever you go. Wherever you go, go, go.
Joshua 1:9.
Wherever you go.
Hello, we are Brian and Melissa Mouche from the Vista campus, and we're here to present the Family Challenge.
So one of our all-time favorites, or one of my all-time favorite, is paper football. You can use all sorts of different shapes and sizes of paper to create different size footballs. And some can be lighter and some can be heavier. And you can use the paper with tables, and you can use them with your fingers, and you can make goalposts. So we're going to show you a couple different games you can play, or a couple different challenges maybe that you guys can do. All right, so we have our fans lined up. We've got different size footballs, super huge, and then medium, small, extra small. We recruited Lauren. Say hi.
Hi.
And we recruited Daniel.
That's good.
He's cool. All right, and we are playing the Rancho Bernardo Broncos versus the Ramona Bulldogs. Okay, so this is the way you start. Kick off. Hang it off the side. Go like that. Now Lauren tries to hang it off the edge. Oh, nope. Now she has to go like this. And I get to go for a field goal. So you can do it any way. Like this. Like this. You can do it like this. You can do it like this. Here we go. Oh, nope. So I kick off. So I kick off now. Now Lauren goes. Touchdown! So you can verify it by going like this. So Lauren has 6 points, and she gets to kick her extra point.
No, the Broncos. Rancho Bernardo Broncos. 6 point.
Good evening, my dear friends. My name is Count Bachelor, and as you know, I love to count. But there is something else I love to do. Can you guess what it is? Flying. Yes, I love to fly, to soar, to feel the wind beneath my wings. Yes, it's a wonderful thing. So today, let's count things with wings that fly. Ready? Let's begin. Oh, good gracious. They are all around. Look at these magnificent paper airplanes. They are everywhere. See how they soar. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 red paper airplanes. Wonderful job counting. Wow, there they go. Now we will count real airplanes. Yes, the kind with wings. They also get to feel the wind soar beneath their wings as well. We will have to be very quick to count them. Are you ready? Let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 airplanes. Did you see them as they soared past? Ah, evening at last. My favorite time to flap around. See how I flap? Now we will count the hanging gliders in the sky. We will have to be very, very quick to count them all. Are you ready? Let's begin. 1, 2, 3. 3 hang gliders way in the sky. Fantastic counting, my friends. You did wonderful.
Hey guys, it's Allison, and today's memory verse is so awesome because we already know most of the hand signals, so see if you can remember them because I want to know if you guys have actually been listening during the week, okay? So today's verse is 1 Thessalonians 5:11a. So encourage one another with the hope you have. Build each other up. Okay, you guys remember a few of those, right? So obviously this one's new, so it's so encourage. We're gonna go so encourage. So we're gonna take our hands and go in a circle. So encourage, and then one another. We did that one last week, so you guys better remember, okay? Because I know you pay attention to me, ready? So let's try it together. So encourage one another. Okay, you remember this one? With the hope. We did that one a few weeks ago too, okay? So let's try it one more time. So encourage one another with the hope, and then we're gonna go you have, because it's about you again. So you guys have the hope, okay? So let's see if we can do that all together. So encourage one another with the hope you have. Good job. And then another new one is build. So we're gonna take our 2 fingers and we're gonna go up and over like this, over each other a few times, okay? So we're gonna do build each other up. Yeah? You think you can do that? Let's try one more time. Build each other up. And this is the same as one another, so it's pretty easy, okay? Now, do you think you guys can do it 2 times in a row? Let's see. 1 Thessalonians 5:11a. So encourage one another with the hope you have. Build each other up. Awesome job, guys. Okay, here we go. One more time. Ready? So encourage one another with the hope you have. Build each other up. 1 Thessalonians 5:11a. Awesome job, guys.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. Oh. Hi, guys. It looks like you caught me practicing for the science talent show. How embarrassing. Well, I chose the song I Believe I Can Fly because I love the science of flight. And I want to share that passion with all my fellow scientist buddies. Like you. Well, since you're here already, why don't I tell you all about it right now? Let's do it. So flight is the process in which an object moves through an atmosphere without contact with the surface. And many things can fly. There are natural aviators like birds and bats and bugs. And there are also man-made aircraft such as helicopters or air balloons or rockets. Now you may be wondering, how do all of these things fly? Well, I'll tell you. There are so many different kinds of flight. There is buoyant flight, like a hot air balloon. There's gliding flight, like a flying squirrel or a flying snake. Just checking. There's powered flight and unpowered flight, and even space flight. Now today we are going to talk about the kind of flight that is generated from aerodynamic lift associated with propulsive thrust, also known as powered flight. Now, when an object, a flying object, weighs more than the air around it, it is called an aerodyne. Aerodynes can be natural aviators like birds or bugs, or it could be man-made aircraft like helicopters and airplanes. Now, in order for these guys to fly, there are 4 forces that affect their flight, and we call these the 4 forces of flight, which are lift, weight, or gravity, drag, and thrust. Now, here's my little airplane. Let's talk about those 4 forces. Now, lift is the force that pushes up on the wings of a plane and allows it to stay in the air. Now, most wings on aircraft have a very special shape, which we call airfoils. Now, this shape is needed so that the air passing over the wing moves faster than the air passing under the wing. This creates a low air pressure over the wings and a high air pressure underneath the wings, which causes the aircraft to float upwards, or lift. Now, in order for a plane or a bird to fly, its lift must be greater than its weight, and weight is the force of gravity that is pulling this downwards, like this. Now, the law of gravity states that what goes up must come down, but the laws of aerodynamics say that what goes up can stay there if all the right forces are in play. Now, in order for an object like an airplane to overcome its weight so that it can fly, it's got to generate enough forward momentum in order to create enough air pressure to cause liftoff. We call this thrust. Now, this is the power source of either a bird or a plane or a flying object. And it can be like muscles, like for birds, or it can be an engine, like for flying machines. Finally, the last force we are going to talk about today is drag. And drag is a force that slows down an object. and causes resistance. It happens when air particles collide with the front of an object, causing it to slow down. The greater the surface area, the more particles hit it, and the greater the resistance. For example, you know how fun it is to stick your arm outside a car window when you're driving? Well, have you ever noticed that when your arm is parallel to the road, that your hand glides through the air so easily? But when you put it perpendicular to the road, it's like having an arm wrestling match with the wind. That is because when your hand is up like this, it increases the surface area, thus creating more drag. But when it's parallel to the road like this, it actually creates an aerodynamic shape, which is a very fancy way of saying that it is a shape that reduces drag. Cool, right? Now, in order for an aerodyne to remain in flight, the lift must be greater than the weight, and the thrust must be greater than the drag. When all four of these forces are working together, the lift and the weight help a flying object to move up and down, and the thrust and the drag help an object to go fast and slow down. Well, and there you have it, the science of flight. Oh man, I almost forgot about the talent show. Oh, I'm late. Oh, wait, it's this way.
Well, hello. Today's word is encourage. To encourage is to inspire others with courage, spirit, or hope. When we prod others to keep going or to keep trying, or we compliment them genuinely, we are offering encouragement. Encouragement's like cheering someone on by saying things like, "You can do it," or "I believe in you." We encourage others when we offer up our own strength, support, or physical assistance by lifting the other end, mentoring, or providing materials, money, or expertise. To encourage is to display trust, belief, or confidence in an idea or person by personally investing in them or walking along beside them. As Christians, we are encouraged to encourage one another with the hope we found in Jesus Christ. That means we are called to build one another up, to be each other's cheerleaders, to encourage one another.
Hey guys, it's Shelby. Today we learned from Professor Helkid what encourage means. And I loved hearing that. It got me thinking that I want to go right now and I want to go encourage somebody. But all I have is my backpack. So let's see if I can encourage people through the things I just have right here with me in my backpack. All right? Let's see. Our first one is, it's a napkin. How can I encourage somebody with a napkin? I know you can use them to wipe your hands. What else could I do? Oh, maybe I could write a note, or I could draw a fun picture and I could give it to somebody. That is super encouraging. All right, let's see what our next one is. Oh, look, it's my prayer journal. I know that we can encourage people through prayer. You can always be praying for your friends and your family no matter where you go. I like to write mine down, but you don't even have to write them down. Even if you're just walking down the street, you could pray for your friends. All right, let's see what else. Look, it's my wallet. What do you think I could do with my wallet? How can I encourage people? Well, I could give money and help others in need. That would help lift them up and encourage them for sure. That's a good one. All right, let's see if I have a couple more things in here. Oh, found one. Look, it's chapstick. How can I encourage somebody with chapstick? That's kind of weird. Let's think. I could put chapstick on my lips, and then I could use my lips to smile. And that always encourages others and brings a smile to their face. Perfect. All right, let's see if I can find one more. Ooh, I found my cell phone. Now, I know that I could use my cell phone to text people or to call people, and I could encourage them through that. I could give them an encouraging message or even tell them that I've been praying for them. That's super encouraging.
Now, I found all of these ways just in my backpack. How do you guys think that you can encourage somebody right now? By just the things that are around you. I bet you can think of some ways.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to Live with Lonnie. Today, I'll be interviewing an exciting guest. Without further ado, let's get started. Can you tell us your name and your job title?
Hi Lonnie, my name is Darren, and I'm an industrial engineer, and I get to work on airplanes.
So, what do you do?
Well, thanks for asking. So I work in the testing on airplanes, and we test everything on an airplane, from flight tests to systems testing, and more specifically, I do what we call structural testing. This is where we make sure the airplane's going to be strong enough to withstand everything it's going to ever see while it's flying. So more specifically, what we do is we will hook the airplane up and we will bend it and we'll twist it and we'll make sure that it's not going to break before we expect it to. And then sometimes we will even break it on purpose to make sure we know what to do if it does break.
Great! What I'd like to know is, can an airplane fly without wind?
That's a really good question. Yes, an airplane can fly without wind, but wind can be really helpful. As an airplane is flying through the air, it's the air and the wind going underneath the wing that causes lift for an airplane to get up into the air. That's also why we put really big engines on airplanes sometimes, because when we don't have as much wind, we need to give ourselves our own lift to get up into the air.
How does wind affect an airplane that's in flight?
Wind can impact an airplane in flight quite a lot. That's actually why pilots will sit down and they'll look at wind speeds and patterns before they ever go on their flight, so they can actually decide on the best flight possible. If a plane is flying into the wind or against it, that can make your flight go a lot longer and make the airplane work a lot harder. But if the airplane is flying with the wind and is coming from behind it, that actually makes your flight a lot shorter and can go a lot faster and save fuel and money for everyone.
What's your favorite part about working on airplanes?
I've always loved airplanes, even since I was a little kid. You have these big, heavy machines that are flying through the air so gracefully and can be so pretty. Also, when I started working on airplanes, I got to test them, and you learn how important every tiny little thing is to an airplane. All the pieces have to work perfectly together. Seeing that all come together is really quite beautiful.
Thanks for talking to us today.
Absolutely, Lonnie, and thanks for having me. I hope you all have a really good day today.
Bye, Darren.
Bye, Lonnie.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Good.
Really good. Remember the cousin I told you about who became a Christian?
Yeah.
Well, I prayed a lot about it, and I realized I really want to be encouraging to him.
That's awesome. Yeah, great job, Raj.
But, Merle, what does that really look like? How can I be encouraging?
Well, great question. There's someone I want you to meet in today's story in the book of Acts. But actually, you've already met him.
Really?
Yep, his name is Barnabas, and we're going to learn about some of the really great stuff that he did. And while we're learning, I want you guys to think of ways that you could follow his example in your own life.
Sounds like fun.
I'm in. Let's do it. We first met Barnabas when the early believers began sharing everything they had. Barnabas sold a field and brought the money from the sale and gave it to the apostles. He was a generous guy who was able to lift others up by sharing what he had.
That was awfully nice of him.
Yes, it was, Allie. You know, everything we have really belongs to God. And when we remember that, it helps us to not be selfish and to be giving to others.
So, one way I can be generous is to give some of my allowance to my parents to donate for kids in need.
Or maybe I could share some of my favorite juice boxes when I have friends over so they know I care about them.
You know, those are great ideas. All right, let's look at another thing that Barnabas did. Last week, we saw that Barnabas was quick to forgive. Remember, Saul had returned to Jerusalem and everyone was afraid of him because he had been so horrible to the early believers. Barnabas was the one who offered his friendship first. He took Saul to meet the apostles and stood up for him and told them how Saul had been preaching about Jesus. Barnabas set the example for other believers in Jerusalem on how they could forgive Saul so that they would accept him as part of God's family.
I know Colossians 3:13 says we're supposed to forgive as the Lord has forgiven us, but I'm still not sure I could have forgiven Saul so quickly. This is the second week we're talking about him, and I think I would have been one of those people who were afraid. Saul was a really bad guy.
Yeah, he was, Allie.
It hasn't been easy, but I prayed about it, and God is helping me forgive my cousin of all the times he's been really mean to me. I know it wasn't as bad as Saul, but that's the same thing, right?
Yeah, Raj, it is. And it's so great that you're actually doing the things that the Bible tells us to do, not just learning about them. Speaking of learning, ready to learn some more?
Yes!
The next time we see Barnabas, the church in Jerusalem was sending him down to the city of Antioch because they heard that Peter was hanging out with and preaching to non-Jewish people.
What was wrong with that?
Well, these were people known as Gentiles, which just means they weren't Jews. The Jews had lots and lots of rules, and some of them God had given to them, but tons of them were made up by the Jewish leaders. One of their rules was that a Jewish person, like Peter, could never enter a non-Jewish home. But Peter had been led by a vision, an angel, and the Holy Spirit to reach out to the Gentiles, and now many of them were becoming Christians. The church in Jerusalem was concerned and sent Barnabas to check it out because they trusted his judgment. Barnabas immediately stood up for the Gentiles, even though they were different from him. He saw that God was at work. He didn't care that the people weren't Jewish. He encouraged the new believers.
So I've noticed that sometimes Christians don't do the same things. Like some people say amen instead of amen at the end of their prayer.
Yeah, and I noticed that some people like to close their eyes when they worship, and others don't. Some people even lift their hands.
Yeah, those are great examples. It's okay for us Christians to do things differently as long as we're following the Bible and doing what God wants us to do.
So what happened next?
Let's find out. After seeing all that was happening in Antioch, Barnabas went down to Tarsus and got Saul and brought him back to help out. They worked together in Antioch for about a year and then became the first missionaries. Saul and Barnabas traveled around, and the miracles Saul performed and the power of his preaching caused more and more Gentiles to follow Christ. He began to take the lead. Barnabas continued to support and encourage Saul in everything he did.
Why did Saul get to take the lead? Barnabas had been so good, and Saul had started out so bad.
Well, for one thing, it wasn't a competition. Some people have gifts that put them on a stage with a microphone in front of huge crowds, while other people have gifts that are more behind the scenes. But each of those are really important, and both Saul and Barnabas were doing the things that they were gifted at, the things that God wanted them to do. Barnabas was a great encourager, and he knew that supporting Saul was what God wanted him to do.
Merle, what if God has big plans for my cousin, and I get to be the one who encourages him in his faith and helps him grow? That would be so cool.
My friend Lonnie got to perform a poem about Jesus on stage last week, and I was a little bit jealous. But now I see that she was just using her gift, and I should cheer her on.
Yeah, I hope I can remember to be like Barnabas. He's a good example of what it means to be a great encourager.
Absolutely he was. He was really doing the things that are in our memory verse. Do you guys remember how that goes?
Yep.
1 Thessalonians 5:11a. So encourage one another with the hope you have. Build each other up.
I've got work to do. I'm going to build my cousin up.
I'm going to tell my friend Lonnie that she did a great job.
And I want to tell both of you that you guys did awesome today.
Hey guys, we've been talking so much about planes today that I was so inspired to make one myself. So for craft today, we are going to make our very own paper airplanes. Ready? Whoa! Hey guys, are you ready to make some paper airplanes? I had so much fun making all these paper airplanes this week because you can literally make almost any kind of paper airplane out of paper. You can make really tiny ones like this one, or because it's just the 4th of July, I also made this one. You could make ones that almost look like a spaceship, or you could make ones that fly really cool. Today we're going to make this one, which is pretty easy to make, and you can color it and decorate it any way you want. You guys ready? Now you can use white paper, is probably gonna be best because it's lighter, so it's easier to fold. But today I'm gonna use pink paper so you guys can see my folds better, okay? So the first thing you need to do is turn your paper so that the long edge faces you. We're gonna do what's called a hot dog fold. So that's the long edges together. We're gonna press that fold down really good so it's nice and crisp. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open our paper up. Now you see we created this really cool line right down the middle. We're going to follow this line as a reference for the rest of our paper airplane construction. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold this corner in to match that line. But in order to make sure that the point gets really nice and crisp, I'm gonna put my fingernail right on that line. Now I'm gonna fold this down so that it matches up with that center fold. And I'm gonna press it down really good, okay? And we're gonna do that on the other side as well. Match it up in the center. Then you're gonna press it down so it's nice and crisp. Now I'm gonna take a marker and I'm gonna kind of show you guys what the fold should look like, okay? So we've got this fold here, and we have this fold here. Okay, you guys with me so far? Awesome, so just these two corners are folded down. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're gonna fold the point that we just created about 2 inches from the bottom here, okay? So what I want you guys to do is you're gonna take 3 fingers, measure from the bottom, and you can take a pen or make a little mark right there. And that helps you figure out what's about 2 inches from the bottom. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold that corner to touch that dot. Here we go, folding all the way down. We're gonna touch the dot. Perfect. Then you're gonna press really nice and good to make sure that's nice and crisp so it's easier to fold the rest of the way, okay? So now that we've made this fold here, we're going to fold our airplane corners in again. So we've got this corner here and we have this corner, and we're gonna fold them just like we did on that first fold, okay? So we're gonna take this corner, we're gonna match it up in the center. Just like this. Remember, put your fingernail down. Perfect. Okay, press it down really good. And we're gonna do that to the other side, okay? Awesome. Okay, so let me show you what this fold looks like now. So now we have got this corner and this corner. Okay? Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold these sides to match like this. So we're actually gonna take it, we're gonna flip it over backwards so it's upside down, and we're going to match up our sides like this and press. Awesome. So we're just using that center fold we created on the first fold to match those sides up. Awesome. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to fold our wings down. So there's the center fold. I want you to face the flaps towards you, okay? And here's the bottom center fold right here. Now, I want you to take the top flap and you're going to press it all the way down and match it with that center fold edge, okay? You're gonna press it down really nice and good, okay? We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you're taking the flap and you're pressing it down to the center fold. Okay? Very good. Press it down nice and good. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're going to pinch it, that center fold at the bottom, and then fluff your wings up, and there you have it, your very own paper airplane. Now, there are some really cool things that you can experiment to help your airplane fly better. You can put staples in that center fold down here. That could weight it so that it would fly further. You can even take a paper clip and put the paper clip on the nose of the airplane and see if that helps it travel further. So experiment, have fun, make some big ones, make some small ones, color them whatever color you want, and have fun. Okay, thanks guys.
Hey guys, you know what time it is? That's right, it's time for the review game. Are you ready? Question number 1. What is a Gentile? Is it A, type of Lego for future generations? B, the opposite of being harsh? C, a person who is not a Jew? Or D, none of the above? The answer is C. A Gentile is a person who is not a Jew. Question number 2. From today's story, what was the guy's name who shared his stuff, was quick to forgive, accepted non-Jews, and had the gift of encouragement? Was it A, Moses, B, Saul, C, Barnabas, or D, David? The answer is C. Barnabas was a great encourager. Question number 3. Why was Barnabas able to support Saul even when Saul ended up taking the lead? Was it A, Barnabas knew that God had gifted them differently and it wasn't a competition? B, Barnabas won the lottery and didn't have to work anymore? C, Barnabas lost his compass and didn't know the way? The answer is A. God had gifted them differently and it was not a competition. Question 4, true or false? It's okay to be different than other Christians as long as we are obeying the Bible and doing what God wants us to do. Is this true or false? The answer is true. We don't all have to do things exactly the same if we are being obedient. Question number 5. How can we encourage others? Is the answer A, lend a helping hand? B, share the stuff we own? C, cheer someone on? D, all of the above? The answer is D, all of the above. There are lots of ways to encourage others. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, it's Paula, and today we heard a lot about Barnabas, and we learned that he was a great encourager. We learned that he encouraged people by sharing his stuff, by being quick to forgive. He supported people that weren't the same as him, and he was really good about encouraging Saul, who actually grew in his giftedness, kind of to take the lead. We also learned that it can be really easy to encourage someone. We could just smile, or it could be really hard, like we could run a 26-mile marathon to be next to our friend. We learned from Shelby today that you can encourage people just with the stuff you can find in your backpack or your purse. And we learned from Science Sarah that when there's wind beneath our wings, it helps us lift up and soar. So here's the challenge for you today. I want you to think about one person this week that you can encourage. Think about one thing you can do for that person, and then go do it. Be the wind beneath someone's wings this week.
Hey guys, I had a great week and what a wonderful message. And I want to tell you guys, you were great. I had a great time. I know you had a great time. This week, I need you to go out there and be encouraging with everybody you meet, all right? Have a great week. We'll see ya.
Oh wait, that's such a bad COVID thing.
Allie could look upset if she would right now.
Barnabas. Blah, blah, blah. Blah.
Every night and day, spread my wings and fly away.